Hi, my name is Mike. I'm a professor for social work management, and you are listening to Managing Around, the bi-weekly podcast about social science, culture, and management. Managing Around is part of the Talk About Organizations podcast network, a community resource and discussion platform for key ideas in management and organization studies, which is supported by our listeners.
Welcome to another insightful episode of Managing Around. I'm Mike Arnold, and today we are navigating the intricate maze of systematic reviews. Reviews such as these are just one of the many ways in academic writing to accumulate the current state of the art in a relevant field of research. But fear not, we've got PRISMA as our guiding star. PRISMA stands for Preferred Reporting Items for Systematic Reviews and Meta-Analyses. In this episode, we will embark on a journey to let you understand what systematic reviews are and how you could use the extraordinary tool to capture an aerial photo from your research. We will also introduce the PRISMA guidelines to equip you with the relevant toolbox to start using this methodology in your own research. So let's get started. We start with the first question of what is a systematic review? At the heart of rigorous research is the systematic review. This isn't merely compiling information. It's a methodological approach to capture the entirety of topics literature in a systematic way. And to guide us through this process, we have the PRISM guidelines, a beacon for transparent and consistent reporting. In the show notes of this podcast, you will find a recent publication from Page et al. 2021, which describes the PRISMA approach. PRISMA stands for Preferred Reporting Items for Systematic Reviews and Meta-Analyses. Think of it as your compass in the vast ocean of research. It comes with a nifty 27-item checklist, ensuring you are on track and not missing any vital details. But that's not all. The PRISMA flowchart is like your treasure map, guiding you from the initial records you identify up to the studies you finally include in your research. PRISMA is your trusty guide to clarity and transparency. Let's move on to the second question of how to write a systematic review. Step 1 in our voyage is defining a research question. PRISMA emphasizes the importance of clear, focused question, often crafted using the PICO format, which is an acronym for population, intervention, comparison, and outcome. This first step focuses on starting your review with systematic questioning. As we chart our course, PRISMA urges us next to develop a protocol. Think of it as the blueprint of our expedition. This should transparently outline criteria for inclusion or exclusion, databases to plunder, and search strings consisting of all relevant keywords. The PRISMA checklist with its 27 items becomes our touchstone here, ensuring every facet of our process is accounted for. Please have a look to the open access publication mentioned in the show notes. With our protocol in hand, we dive deep into databases, systematically searching for every relevant piece of information and knowledge. But remember, PRISMA demands rigorous documentation. Every database, every term, every decision needs to be recorded. Now, as we surface with our trove of articles, PRISMA's flowchart becomes crucial. The visual representation delineates our journey, showcasing records identified, screened, eligible, and finally included into the review. It's a map of our decision-making process, ensuring we leave no stone unturned. Data extraction is our next stop. Each study reveals its essence, its methods, outcomes, and specifics. PRISMA's guidelines ensure we extract data in a methodological way, ensuring consistency. But not all that glitters is gold. PRISMA compels us to assess the quality of each study. And bias is a lurking monster, and tools like the Cochrane Risk of Bias or the Newcastle-Ottawa scale help us weed out any misleading information. These are exemplary quality assessment tools that help to assess risk of bias in randomized controlled trials. Please see the show notes for a relevant reference. With our refined set of quality studies, we, in the last step, synthesize the data. PRISMA's guidelines shine a light on ensuring this synthesis, whether narrative or meta-analytical, is both comprehensive and comprehensible. Finally, we share our discoveries. PRISMA ensures our results, discussions, and conclusions are transparent and robust, giving the world a clear view of our research journey. This brings us to the end of this episode. Let's draw some conclusions and talk about the lessons learned. In essence, systematic reviews guided by PRISMA are more than just research. They are an odyssey, meticulous journey from question to conclusion. They ensure that as we sail the vast sea of information, our course remains true, our methods remain sound, and our findings illuminate the world of knowledge. And as we dock back at the haber of understanding, remember, beyond the rigorous analysis and synthesis of existing research, systematic reviews sometimes serve more, a human purpose. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the sheer volume of literature on a topic? Well, conducting a systematic review can be a great way for researchers to genuinely immerse themselves in a field, especially if they are new to it. It's like a deep dive into the literature pool, not just to find answers, but to familiarize oneself with the terrain, to find footing, to see the big players, the trending debates, and even the little nuances. While it might not be the primary reason for systematic review, it sure is a handy side effect, especially for those just wading into the new waters. So equip yourself with PRISMA, set sail with purpose, and chart a course towards discovery. I hope that today's episode will inspire more researchers, maybe also you, to encourage in systematic reviews to find future research directions. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Managing Around, the bi-weekly podcast about social science, culture, and management. Managing Around is part of the Talk About Organizations podcast network, a community resource and discussion platform for key ideas in management and organization studies, which is supported by our listeners. If you liked this episode, please leave a review on your favorite podcast website. There's also a link in the show notes. If you've got any thoughts on this episode, or if you've got any idea about new podcast topics or questions you'd like to discuss, send me an audio file or voice note to hi@profmanagement.de. For any non-audio comments, drop a tweet or DM to @profmanagement on Twitter or Instagram, please. For more information, visit my website www.profmanagement.de. Thank you for listening and see you next time.